Hey guys, it's me, Seth Rojo, and today we're going to be reacting to penguinz0's new video, Evil Family YouTuber Gets Arrested. So first I'm going to check to see if the stream's working. Okay, the stream's working, let's go. I'm at 1841-year-old phone. Okay, Evil Family YouTuber Gets Arrested. So I'm sorry if there's any cursing in this video, I have no control over that, because this isn't my video, this is penguinz0's video. So, let's watch.
Today we're going to be talking about a pure evil YouTuber that was just arrested for some truly heinous stuff. This is not a goofy topic at all. This is going to take that smile off of your face faster than if you had watched a James Corden clip. This is the
James
story
Corden.
about Ruby Frank of the very popular
Wait, who is
parental
that?
advice slash about Ruby Frank.
We hate Ruby Frank. She was mean to her kids. She sent her son away for 6 months because he was on his phone a minute after the timing mark. I think not. Okay.
Of the very popular parental advice slash parenting blogger slash family YouTube channel,
More
Eight
like X family.
Passengers, which is already a really creepy name, by the way. Eight Passengers does sound like some kind of cult. Eight Passengers sounds like the title to a horror movie. And unfortunately, that's not far off because the woman behind this YouTube channel, Ruby Frank, is basically a monster out of a horror film.
Yes, she
Ruby
is.
Frank and her business partner, Jody Hildebrandt, were arrested this week and they're being charged with 6 counts of child abuse. Now, Ruby wasn't alone with the 8 Passengers YouTube channel. Her husband, Kevin, was also prominently featured in there as well. But for some reason, he's not mentioned in any of this right now, aside from a couple of
So guys, I need to get a snacky. Macaroni, got that. I don't know if these are expired, but okay. Okay. Streameroni. Get over my spinny hat. Oh, okay.
mentions that he's just trying to keep the family together and help the children through this difficult time with Ruby being arrested. But I can't
She should
imagine a
have.
world where Kevin was somehow oblivious to all of the abuse the children suffered in that household. There's no way Kevin didn't know what was happening. Unless he's an absolute fucking lobotomite zombie, there's no way he didn't know what the children are being subjected to. I just can't imagine a single multiverse possibility that Kevin is squeaky clean in this situation, just totally innocent, had no idea what was happening to the kids in that house. Especially considering in 2020, Kevin was front and center fighting on the front lines to defend himself and his wife against abuse allegations, defending their parental style. I'll go into a bit more.
Bro couldn't have done nothing. He was probably secretly behind all her actions, telling her to do these things, and then put it on her and blamed her, and she got arrested. If not, even though she should get arrested, she deserves to get arrested, and him. For how they treated Chad and the other kids. Like, he got a loss of door privileges and bed privileges because he pranked his brother after the camp. He pranked his brother and said, "We're going to Disney World." Uh, his younger brother got all packed up and stuff, and then he went out. And Chad was like, "Ha ha, no, we're not." And then they took away his bed for 6 months, and then took away his door. Bro lost door privileges. What the heck? That's not discipline. That's abuse.
More detail on that situation a bit towards the end of the video, but basically some viewers were really concerned for the safety of the children based on what was being presented in some of the 8 Passengers videos, as well as what was being discussed, such as taking away one of the kids' food privileges, as well as one of the kids' bedroom privileges, And
Yeah,
eventually
bedroom
they
privileges,
tried
that
to
was
get
chat.
CPS
Food
involved, and
privileges, what the heck?
CPS did get loosely involved. But the whole time, Kevin was defending the actions that they had been taking with their parenting. So like there's just I don't believe that he didn't know about all of the abuse that was being suffered in that household by the children. But since right now it's only Ruby and Jody who have been arrested, I'll focus on
Who's
them.
Jody?
They go over some of the stories and videos that she would proudly post on her channel, where she just openly admits, proudly, almost bragging, about torturing her children. She built a reputation as being a strict.
Ruby, you need to put in the jail cell in prison for 6 billion years. Abuse, I think not. Ruby is evil. She's worse than Karen. She says she's strict. No, he's abusive. Oh. Get out of here, Ruby.
Strict
Go to
parent
prison.
with a strict parental style.
I'm
But
glad she got
strict is
arrested.
not the
Don't get
right
me wrong.
word for it. This isn't like some kind of teacher that's like, "Hey class, settle down. No fishy business. We got work to do here." And this isn't even strict like, your fucking basic training drill sergeant or anything. This the way she treats her children is like the way prisoners are treated at Guantanamo Bay.
Exactly.
She fucking
Whoa. She treats her children, as if they were army camp people. Locks them away, no food, like 1600s torture. Like, actually, though. Like Spanish Inquisition. Spanish Inquisition, Ruby, I think not. That's literally what she's doing. She's doing medieval torture on your children. Like, no food. Like, bread and water, or no food at all. Locked in a jail cell. I think not, Ruby. Get out of here, Ruby.
posted a video
Ruby's
where she
trash.
was laughing
She
about
sucks.
not feeding her daughter any
She laughed about
food
it.
because she was
I'm laughing too. 'Cause I want to be laughing too when I put my foot up your booty.
punishing her. And she even said that she hopes nobody gives her daughter any food because if she did, then
That's evil torture. If I couldn't get any food for a day, I'd be like, heck no, rana booty.
the lesson wouldn't be learned. She was starving her daughter as a means of punishment. And it only
That's not punishment, that's abuse.
gets worse. I learned about this on stream,
As
so I'm going to go ahead and
As
show
Nakakata would say, I'm calling Nancy in the fur to knock Ruby into the jail cell for eternity. I think not. Get out of here, Ruby poop.
you some of the clips and go over some of the stories that were shared. I think it's important to mention that this was
That's
not some
weird
small
water.
obscure channel. The content they were posting wasn't just being
only took
banished to
break.
the shadow realm immediately with no eyes ever being on it, no one ever seeing
Right.
it. This was a huge channel. 8 passengers,
Sorry, Penguin, I interrupted you.
stories that were shared. I think it's important to mention that this was not some small obscure channel. The content they were posting wasn't just being banished to the shadow realm immediately with no eyes ever being on it, no one ever seeing it. This was a huge channel. 8 passengers had 2.5 million subscribers.
That's a lot of
I know
subscribers.
it's become somewhat of a
I remember watching some of their videos. Some like random video where they were eating Subway and stuff. And Ruby was talking about how she put jalapenos in her sandwich because Chad did too. And I also watched a video about how like they met Studio C. Okay. Like the old ones. Like the old version of Studio C. Not the fallen off version. Okay. Get out of here, Studio. Okay, stop.
trend in journalism to try and like clickbait headlines with things like famous TikToker arrested for DUI and jiggling butt cheeks to Doja Cat Say So on the side of the road. And you read that and it's very eye-catching because it's like famous TikToker, oh shit, well who was it? And then you'll read the person's name in the article about the crime and then you'll check their TikTok page and it turns out they have 50 followers and all they do
Yeah, like they're not even famous. But Ruby and 8 passengers, 2.5 million subscribers, and she's doing this crap? She cannot get away with this. Ruby, you better stay in prison for a long while, honey.
is speculate on anime power levels and it's like,
Let me show him.
well, not exactly a famous TikToker.
I don't know
but
all
it's
of them,
2023, so everyone has some kind of social media presence, and journalists will oftentimes just connect it to that. So, famous TikToker does this, or famous Twitter shitposter does that, even though they're not exactly a famous TikToker or this and that. But in this case, it really is a famous YouTuber, a very large YouTube channel
really famous.
that gave tons of parental advice for a very long time, had a very successful.
Okay, so basically, if any parent wants to do 8 passengers parenting advice, your family is gonna go down the tubes. I think not. Get out of here, Ruby.
family vlog, and then even went on with Jody Hildebrandt to start doing life coaching and general life advice. All the while, she'd been abusing her children the entire fucking time.
Exactly.
I don't know, there's something about that picture that's super eerie. It reminds me of something out of like Midsummer.
I mean, honestly, Midsummer is like basically was the 8 passengers' life before like Ruby got arrested. So I mean, I don't know.
A Utah mother known for chronicling her strict parenting style was arrested after one of her children ran to a neighbor's house seeking help. Her channel name was 8 Passengers. It reminds me of something out of like Midsummer. A Utah mother known for chronicling her strict parenting style was arrested after one of her children ran to a neighbor's house seeking help.
What?
Her channel name was 8 Passengers. They had 2.2 million subscribers. Ms. Frank hosted the now-defunct YouTube channel 8 Passengers, where she posted videos about her parenting approach with her 6 children, including refusing them food as a form of punishment. Wait,
what the heck? It's horrible.
And she did this on YouTube?
My kids are literally starving. I hesitate to say this because it's going to sound like I'm like a mean barbarian, but I told the kids, I said, I'm not even going to let you eat breakfast until you get your chores done.
The red flags were all there. She was hiding in plain sight.
Why?
That's actual torture. You can't do that.
Exactly.
Miss Frank and Miss Hildebrandt were each charged on Friday with 6 counts of aggravated child abuse, according to the Washington County Attorney's Office.
Okay.
Each count carries a maximum sentence of 15 years in prison and a fine up to $10,000. According to the affidavit, Miss Frank's 12-year-old son, identified as RF, climbed out of a window of Miss Hildebrandt's home and went to a neighbor's house and a fine up to $10,000. According to the affidavit, Miss Frank's 12-year-old son, identified as RF, climbed out of a window of Miss Hildebrandt's home and went to a neighbor's house on Wednesday morning asking for food and water. The child had duct tape on his ankles and wrists as well as open wounds. He appeared to be emaciated and malnourished. This is some pure evil shit. The neighbor called the police, who then found Miss Frank's 10-year-old daughter, Eve, at Miss Hildebrandt's. She also appeared to be malnourished, the affidavit said. Both children were taken to the hospital. The boy was placed on a medical hold due to his deep lacerations from being tied up with rope and from his malnourishment, according to the affidavit. Oh my god.
What the heck, bro?
At one point, Miss Frank had 2.5 million...
Like ropes? That's taking it too far. That's taking it too far, Ruby. I think not.
...million subscribers to her channel, following the lives of her 6 children. In 2020, Chad Frank, then 15, told YouTube viewers in one family video that he had been sleeping on a beanbag for months and that he had lost his bedroom after playing a prank on his little brother.
Okay.
How did she get away with it for so long? If this was literally in their YouTube video.
Okay.
She, on camera in her TikTok or whatever, said that she denies her children food as a form of punishment, and then apparently one of the kids also revealed that he had lost bedroom privileges for months after playing a prank. How? How did this persist? This should have went straight to prison. Do not pass go.
Exactly.
In one video recorded by Miss Frank and reposted to TikTok, she said her daughter Eve's teacher had called her to say Eve had come to school without lunch. Miss Frank said the teacher was uncomfortable with her being hungry, but that Eve was responsible for making her own lunch, and that the natural outcome is she is just going to be hungry.
I saw that video. Okay. I saw that. She ain't getting away with that.
Hopefully nobody gives her food and nobody steps in and gives her a lunch, because then she's not going to learn from it. And this is all on video. She said this on video.
Saw that video.
How was CPS not alerted sooner?
Exactly.
Oh, and apparently there was even a bunch of like petitions from the community to try and get them taken down because it was actual evidence of child abuse. But it looks like none of that was taken seriously. We've been trying to tell the police and CPS for years about this, and so glad they finally decided to step up. Kids are safe, but there's a long road ahead. Oh, this was one of the children. Sherry Frank, now a junior at BYU, posted about her mother's arrest on Instagram, saying justice is being served.
BYU.
So one of the kids was trying to alert CPS and the police and they didn't do anything? How would you not trust one of the victims of it? Especially when there's so much documented evidence on their own fucking YouTube channel.
Wow.
I mentioned on stream how surprising it was that this hadn't happened sooner when she openly posted content about some of the abuse she was inflicting upon her children. And it turns out a lot of the community that was aware of this channel was actively trying to get CPS involved, especially when it came to that beanbag incident where one of the children made it clear that they had been sleeping on a beanbag for an extended period of time because they had lost their bedroom due to that prank that they had played on one of the siblings. So CPS did get loosely involved at some point, but Ruby was somehow able to like brush them off and nothing came from it somehow, which blows my mind because this isn't one of those situations with hindsight being 2020. This isn't one of those things where you can just say, man, if we only knew then what we know now, we could have really helped them. Because this is so clear cut. Like, this should have been a no-brainer that something was wrong. For an authority figure to look at any of these videos, it should have been a massive, alarming situation. Fucking sirens should have been blaring. The second that Ruby was proudly gloating, wiggling her finger, celebrating her incredible parenting of just depriving her children of food as a punishment, that should have been enough to get authorities involved and learn about what was actually happening here with the Ruby Frank household. It's super infuriating that this went on for as long as it did, when a lot of people did keep trying to push this forward to CPS to get them to take action, knowing that something was wrong and knowing what Ruby was posting about and saying was not okay. It's not strict parenting, it's actual abuse. By every possible definition. This is not something where it's like, builds character, toughen up, sport, rub some dirt in it. You know, you're not getting breakfast. In fact, you're also not getting your bedroom. It's going to put some hair on your chest. You're going to learn something today. You know, it's not anything like that. It's fucking abuse.
Exactly. Take me a bedroom? I think not. What the heck?
This isn't parenting. I can't believe that it went on for so long. I'm happy now finally something is being done, but I feel fucking horrible for the kids in this situation that they've been let down, not only by the person that's supposed to care for them more than anyone else in the world, their mother, but they were also let down by the authorities that are supposed to be trying to help them in an emergency situation. It shouldn't have taken this long. Ruby's sisters also have hundreds of thousands of followers, so they posted an Instagram statement that said, "For the last 3 years, we have kept quiet on the subject of our sister Ruby Frank for the sake of her children. Behind the public scene, we have done everything we could to try and make sure the kids were safe. We wouldn't feel right about moving forward with regular content without addressing the most recent events. Once we do, we will not be commenting on it further. Ruby was arrested, which needed to happen. Jody was arrested, which needed to happen. The kids are now safe, which is the #1 priority." I've just got to say that statement of "we kept quiet for the last 3 years for the sake of the children" doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, because keeping quiet wasn't helping the children. They were being
keeping quiet was making it worse.
Abused, and if you were aware of that, how the fuck would being quiet somehow help them? How is that doing everything you can behind the scenes to keep them safe? That's doing nothing. That is literally the Simpsons meme of "we've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas." Now, I guess it's possible they didn't know the extent of the abuse that the children were suffering, but even still, if you were aware of children being abused in any capacity, you should have been doing everything in your power to get the kids out of that situation. Being quiet doesn't get them out of the situation. That doesn't do anything to actually save them or keep them safe. You should have made a lot of noise and kept going to authorities over and over again, gathering as much evidence as possible to try and help those kids. And maybe they were. This is, again, just a very short statement, so maybe they were. But them saying that they kept quiet for 3 years to keep them safe, it doesn't compute. Because that's not keeping the kids safe, that's keeping them locked in that prison with the monster. Now, as was mentioned by one of the daughters, there was a lot of attempts to get police and CPS involved that just didn't work. So it is possible that perhaps the sisters here were actively trying to do that and kept trying to get authorities involved unsuccessfully. It's just that saying you kept quiet for 3 years it really isn't clicking with me. I don't know why you would be quiet for 3 years if you were actively working to keep the kids safe. Let's imagine that one of the kids wasn't lucky enough to break free and escape through a window and get help from someone nearby. They'd still be tied up right now in that house, and you
Exactly.
would still be being quiet. This fucking ridiculous silence is golden strategy didn't help
Sis.
the kids. The only person it helped was your sister, because it
Exactly.
allowed her to keep abusing those children
think
for
they were trying
3
to
more
hide it
years.
to protect their
And
sister instead of
the
children.
only reason this even came crumbling down and
out
she
here with your
finally
sister.
got arrested is because one of them broke free, covered in deep lacerations, and was able to get help so they could all be saved. Had that not
Exactly.
happened, you would still be quiet and those kids would still be suffering. I know I'm getting
Exactly.
pretty heated here, but this story is just infuriatingly
The penguin you should be, because this is bad.
evil. I am happy that Ruby and Jody have been arrested. I hope they get the absolute maximum sentence here. But I do still think
I'm
there's
glad they
other
both got
people
arrested.
that
Be
knew
in prison,
what was
please.
happening in that household that should also face very severe punishment for allowing that to happen and continue happening for as long as it did. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. That's about it. See ya.
Okay. Yeah, so that was penguinz0's video. So, hope you enjoyed my live stream, and I'm out. Yeah. Whoa. You can't see